Okay, let's see. Where are you? Okay, it looks like it says record. All right, well, welcome everybody to our April meeting. So I'll have, in just a minute, I'll have Sheila introduce our speaker today. But there's a lot of stuff going on in May. We have, first of all, I don't know if everybody's got the email that was sent out end of last week. That is all crammed of stuff. I mean, this year we're going to do something new. Every year we got to do something new. And we're going to do online renewals, and you can pay by online or by check. You don't have to pay online. You can just renew online and then just mail in your check. And that's from May 1st until the end of May. And then May 14th, and Angie can talk about that a little bit if she wants to. We have the charity fundraiser, May 24th. Sheila will probably talk about our next meeting, in-person meeting, May 24th. And then also May 26th, we have our first Explore Arizona actually going somewhere instead of walking in a year. So, Angie, would you like to talk about the charity fundraiser that's on the 14th? Just make sure everybody knows about it. Can't hear you.
Okay. Hi, yeah. I'm delighted to tell you about this. It's going to be very exciting. We've worked hard to put it together, and we're at the Foothills Golf Club again, which is lovely. And it's going to be any kind of ice cream with all kinds of toppings. And we sure hope that will be yummy. And the board has offered to let the members in for free. That is free, right? So your guests are $6.50, and you have to register online. Now, what does a bazaar mean? The bazaar means these items are contributed by our members, and the purpose of the bazaar is to get money for our charity, which has lost our home. So there'll be a 50-50, and there'll be items, for example, Michael Kors, is that how you say it, purses, candlesticks, any number of things that you can find, you know, that people have used and they're in great condition and you can buy. So I encourage you to bring some money and to realize this is a fundraiser and to enjoy spending it. So
lots of money.
Yeah, so you'll be able to socialize and eat your ice cream, maybe on the patio. We don't know the weather, of course, maybe inside with the air conditioning. So we'll play that one by ear. But anyway, wear your mask, bring your money, bring your friends, and it'll be a very nice time, I hope, for all of us. Thank you.
And we'll have a donation jar in case there's nothing that you really found that you like. There's, you know, cash or checks. You can make that too.
Good point. Yeah, we don't want to be using credit cards. That's makes it more complicated.
We'll have it set up like the October charity fundraiser, which is the stuff is going to be all spread out through the ballroom, so people don't have to congregate. You know, they can spread out and look at all the stuff, and it is kind of cash and carry. And we just, it's not a garage sale, it's a fundraiser.
The fundraiser.
We're not really.
So are the items priced?
Pardon?
Yeah.
Are the items pre-priced?
They'll be pre-priced, you know, $5, $10, you know, 20, 30, that kind of thing.
Right.
Lots of jewelry, apparently.
Yeah, and books.
Oh, and books. Bestseller books.
Okay.
And if you don't want to eat ice cream, you don't have to. Right. I don't want to hear the excuse, well, I don't really eat ice cream, so I don't want to go. So just go. Support our cause.
Free. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's see. Then who I was going to ask next. I was going to have Sheila talk too, but oh my goodness, my mind.
You want me to go ahead while you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to have our first luncheon in-person meeting at the Foothills Golf Club. It seems to be the best place to hold an event right now because there's so much space within it that we can really still separate tables and not be crowded together at tables of 10 and all. So it's going to be May 24th, regular meeting date, and it will start at the usual time. You'll get your, I don't think the newsletter's gone out yet, but our meal has been arranged. It's going to be a buffet luncheon that will meet just about everybody's requirements. We will have a chicken dish, we will have a vegetarian lasagna, we'll have salad and dessert, and the cost is going to be kept at $20. And it's a very fair price. We'll have, they're going to place pitchers of the tea and water on our tables so that we can pour ourselves. It won't require waiters to be approaching the table, you know, and serving us, to try to keep as COVID-19 safe as we can be. So I think health-wise, if you've been vaccinated, it's going to be a lovely day. We can't wait to see everybody up close and personal. As far as the program, we're going to be having the installation of the officers and saying thank you to them as outgoing and welcoming them again as incoming. And Bev Lichty will conduct that. And one thing I'd like to suggest, since I have so many of you online here, a lot of us managed to do certain things that got us through these over 13 months of isolation away from family, friends, and other people. And I was thinking everyone did something to help them get through it. Some people got into the internet, they got online, they learned languages, they maybe took some classes at a school. Maybe they went and toured museums, did different things online. And it would be nice if anyone had something special they wanted to share with everybody, something positive. We don't want to talk about all the negativity that happened, but something positive that you did that made those months pass by, and think about something good that happened during that time. So if anyone wants to share something, they will let me know so we can kind of put it in proper order and know how much time to allow. So you probably all have my email, you have the directory. So send me anything you'd like to, and we'll hopefully get some uplifting programming so that you know the date, you know the place, you know the price. So register for it, and we're looking forward to seeing a lot of ladies.
What's the time, Sheila?
It'll be the regular meeting time, 11:30. We'll leave at noon. Yeah, and then we'll do the installation and any programming that develops. Okay, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thank you.
Okay, just so you know, also, we're going to do a transition through the summer. So we're going to have some online June, July, August, and then we'll also have in person. And so I'm going to do the online, Sheila's going to do the in person. And together, I just felt that it was too soon, just we're not through the pandemic. I mean, the pandemic's still going. We have vaccines, but a lot of people are still very concerned about coming to too many things. So let's just transition back. So that's the plan. So we have a speaker. She advertised her transition with dignity. She gave me a book. And this is Carol Phillips. That's our June speaker. And in July, we have somebody, a professor is going to speak about the history of the First Ladies, which I think will be very interesting as well. Okay, anybody else have any business or anything else before we have Sheila introduce our speaker? Okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right. So I'd like you all to meet Rob Truman. Rob's going to speak to us today about how we can be safe when online. And I know a lot of us make mistakes that we shouldn't have, and we don't want to do that. We don't need viruses, and we don't need our computers down and having to hire someone to save us. And so I want to tell you a little bit about his background. He's a lifetime member of a group called the Computer Boosters of Sun Lake. Booters, not boosters, unless we typed this wrong. And he's on their board of directors as their web director. Rob has 40 years of experience in information technology and internet related fields. He's a retired US Navy Chief Electronics Technician, and he's worked as a technical support professional for Microsoft over the years. He's a proponent of lifelong learning, and he runs a website blog called Geezer Tech, which focuses on helping the senior community with their technology needs. So he's in the right place today. Rob volunteers and he teaches adult education technology classes through their local community college and the program I think most of us know about called New Adventures in Learning. So Rob, welcome. Thank you for being with us today.
Glad to be here.
Okay.
So, I understand that you guys had a presentation from Maricopa County. What was it?
Maricopa County Attorney Office.
Right. I've attended that presentation. She does an excellent job.
Yeah.
Not as focused, I think, on internet security. So I'm going to do my best today to give you guys some tips, some tricks. To me, the first thing about security is just becoming a more aware user. Because if you can't recognize what the threat is, it's hard to, get past it. So let me share this out and we will get started. Okay, you should be seeing the presentation now.
Yes.
Okay, great. First thing I want to talk about is malware. Malware is, I would say, the overall terminology for all things bad that can happen to your computer. So within malware, that includes viruses, electronic scams, you name it. Best thing you can do, as I previously mentioned, is to develop safe and smart browsing habits to keep and be aware of the sites you're going on. Can I get everyone to mute their microphones?
I'll mute all. There we go. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh dear.
Okay.
There we go.
So.
Okay.
Here we go. Here we go. Malware and viruses take advantage basically of security flaws in Windows and other software. One thing that you can do is keep your operating system, your browser, and your other program software updated. These security patches help make your computer immune to many threats. Beware of fake pop-up tech support scams. Do not call this number. It is not Microsoft. Primarily, it's going to be a group of scammers waiting to help alleviate you of some of that extra money you have stashed away. Phishing is a big one. And I would say probably more people fall prey to phishing scams than anything else. They're messages that try to trick you into providing your information. They often appear that they come from a valid source, like a bank or your stockbroker or whatever, but something credible. So how do we recognize phishing scams? Okay, so on this example, and I hopefully you can see this, but up there at the top, I highlighted it and you'll see that the EasyPass is an American company. But the email, you'll see at the end of the email is .ru. That's Russia. Okay. And when you hover, and you'll know, you can't see it here, but One thing you can do is when you see links in email, if you hover your mouse over it, it will tell you where that link is going to go. So first step here, know where that email is coming from. And these are just some of the more common countries and their codes. And you see, as I already mentioned, RU is Russia, JP is Japan, and some of the other ones, UK, really doesn't matter what's in front, okay? You can set up an email address to pretty much say anything you want. So these returns at amazon.com.mx, that's a Mexican email address. So let's take here's another one. This is one that I got. An example I found. The subject lines are always going to say they're important. They're always going to prompt for you to take some sort of action. Now, Bank of American is not the same as Bank of America. But if you weren't looking for this and you weren't being observant, you would go right over it because it's close enough. Logos, I can go out to Google's image catalog and probably find a logo for any corporation there is, and probably for some that there isn't. And do not follow links. Generally speaking, if you're getting emails and you're not sure where they're from, then do not follow the link. So if you got this email, you have a Bank of America account and you weren't sure whether this was a good email, then I would just go into my browser and type in the address, bankofamerica.com. Don't use the link because you're not sure where it's going to take you. I know it can be a little bit inconvenient at times, but as the old saying goes, better safe than sorry. You're always going to see these account issue emails. They're a dime a dozen. And again, be careful about clicking on links. So you see that if I hover my mouse, I don't know if you can see this, but maybe you can. Yeah, if I hover my mouse over the link, this actually says chase.com, but it actually goes to my website. This link actually goes where it says it's going to go. Scam alert. This is one I got. I saved it. I got it couple years ago, and I just enjoyed it. So first of all, we see up in the subject line, very urgent. It's from Mr. David Brown, or actually Abe, or whatever, and they're from Japan. Now, there's the message. So I have an email address from Japan telling me they're from the United States Custom Border Protection Homeland Security in Des Moines, Iowa. Don't think Homeland Security is using email addresses from Japan. Don't know, but pretty good guess, I think. Of course, then you'll know, I mean, we just notice off the bat, the English is incorrect. Don't think customs is going to be using phrases like cut down to 350. Don't think they'll be using phrases like bear it in mind. This is my favorite. I did not know that our government had a treasury department. So evidently we are now in the treasure business. So anyway, my point being is just be observant. You know, don't just assume, don't be trusting, and just because it says it's from Border Patrol or Customs or any of this, don't just buy off on that. I can't remember who the person was. I think it was Aristotle that said, question everything. 86% of email attacks don't involve malware. This has nothing to do with malware, has nothing to do with viruses. These are emails that are relying upon you to give up your information. And Apple is the #1 imitated company. And right now, because of this pandemic, there are just tons and tons of COVID-19 email scams out there. Your best defense is being a well-informed user. Okay, passwords. The topic everyone loves to hate. Hey, nobody likes passwords. Nobody likes to have to remember them. They're a pain, but unfortunately, they are a necessity. So I'm going to try and take you through a couple things that will hopefully help with this. When it comes down to passwords, longer is better. You use special characters and numbers. You want it difficult for someone else to guess, but easy for you to remember, which those two phrases may be an oxymoron. So. One thing I'll tell you, when a lot of people focus on their passwords of being difficult for someone else to guess, that's not the concern here. I want a password that will be hard for a computer to figure out. Because there's plenty of software out there that will just start generating and trying different passwords. Okay, and so these are some of the worst passwords of 2020. Hopefully you're not going to find yours in there. Strong passwords are a minimum of 8 characters in length. They include upper and lower case, numbers, and special characters. And if you're using the word password for your password, stop it. It is probably the most common one. Password managers. I encourage their use, but they're not, a password manager is not going to make you safe. It is nothing more than a tool to help you remember your passwords. And that's all it is. Okay. But what it does allow you to do is, because you have this tool to help you remember, then you can feel a little bit more comfortable about having complicated passwords and having a different password for every site. So passphrases. Passphrase is more secure than a password. And what a passphrase is an actual phrase. So, and here's all right, so I'm set up a password and I'm just using iPhone as a password. that would take about 0.04 seconds for a computer to crack. So I change it. I changed how I spell iPhone, and I put iPhone made by Apple. That would take approximately 15 days, but it is crackable. So now I add in uppercase, lower, I have lowercase, I added a number, I add a special character, and they say that would take 4 years to crack. Random password generator. This is a really good site. It's a nice tool, okay, because it allows you to customize what you're doing. Okay. So I created a passphrase, and that's it. Cute, fun, brutal, price. That is my passphrase. And I went up and I generated it on this site, and I can remove spaces. I can add special characters in there if I want. I can add numbers, so forth and so on. So here we go. Then I went to this site, and if I believe this should be on the handout I sent you guys, so or the email that you will be getting. This actually tests your password or your passphrase. So this one right here meets most of my criteria, with the exception it doesn't have numbers and doesn't have symbols, but it says 2 million. It would take 2 million years for someone to guess this passphrase for me. I'm not sure if I buy off on that time frame, but But so anyway, passphrases are extremely good. Antivirus. Removing your computer's vulnerability is just a good habit. You can protect your computer by running antivirus, anti-malware software. Even if you don't see signs of any type of problems, it doesn't mean there isn't one. These are some of the more, I guess, famous or popular security softwares. All right. So how do you know what to use? Well, first of all, decide over free versus paid. Of course, the price on free is good, but mostly, generally speaking, okay, so don't take anything I say as 100% here. If it's a free antivirus protection, then it's probably only going to protect you from antiviruses. That's all. Paid solutions are more comprehensive, multi-platform, and going to be more of a total malware protection solution. So what's the difference? Antivirus, internet security. Antivirus software provides a basic level of protection, whereas internet security expands on those capabilities. So there's 4 basic levels of antivirus products. You have free, you have paid antivirus, you have suites, and you have premium suites. And as you move up the ladder from free to premium, you typically pay more and get more features. Browser security. Browser is probably one of your most important pieces of software. And it's probably one that you're going to use the most, for anything you want to get on the internet. Threats when you browse include viruses, malware, spyware. Most modern browsers today have built-in security features. Here's a chart that shows you some of the ratings. Now, do not confuse security and privacy. 2 different things all together. You see here on these rankings, Brave browser is rated, is the top rated, right above Tor. And you'll see that Microsoft Edge, now this is the old version of Microsoft Edge. So I could not find a chart that had the new Microsoft Edge in it. I'm going to guess that the new version of Microsoft Edge would be probably right in there in the 4 or 5, right there around Chromium, which the new Microsoft Edge is built on Chromium technology. So it's going to be somewhere in that ballpark. And keep in mind that you are not limited to using just one browser. You can install different browsers for different types of sites, i.e. banking, shopping, social media. So, you know. Always check the security symbol. You want to be using a site that has an HTTPS. That means it's a secure connection. So you definitely want to be on a site that has HTTPS if you plan on doing any type of financial transaction on that site.
Oh.
Okay. Now, and most of them will be. So, I mean, you know, Amazon's HTTPS. Okay. Now, there's also some browser extensions. Now, I read an article recently that I think Firefox and Chrome are automatically going to default and take you to the HTTPS version if the site has one. But there's also browser extensions that's, I believe it's HTTPS anywhere or anytime or every time or something like that. But you can look up under your, you know, and find the extension. It's I've been using that one for years, but it looks like a lot of the browser companies are now going to include that as a default setting. So it will, if the site has an HTTPS version, it will automatically direct you to that version. So staying safe. Always double check the URL of your banking site, social networking site, email site before you log in. Type in the URL by hand to never follow links from an email. Check for HTTPS. Most browsers now include a color change on the left side of the location bar to indicate that the site has been verified as legitimate. This is a Google link. And what you can go there, and then what you would do is after the question mark, you would type in the site address. So if you, oh, I'm sorry, after the equal sign, you would type in the site address. And you can either use a site or an IP address, and it will let you know if that site has had malware on it in the past 90 days. Email tracking. This was not, it's not going to hurt your computer, but I feel like it's something that's nice to be aware of. So in emails, the person sent, you know, and I'm basically talking about marketing emails. Okay, so the person sending you that email can put a image, and it would be 1 pixel by 1 pixel, very small, most likely would just be a white, completely white image, so it would blend in with the background, so you wouldn't even see it. And what happens is what that image will do is that when that email or attachment is opened, the email, it will send information back to the source, letting it know, whoever sent it, that email has been opened. Why is that a bad thing? First of all, if this is coming from some sort of spam where it lets the person who sent it know that that is a good email address. And so that goes on their good email address list to sell to other people. In settings on your browser, you can block images from automatically loading. And I highly recommend you set that up. Okay, so whether you're using Chrome, Firefox, whatever you're using, if you go into settings, you can set this so when you open the email, it will not open the images at the same time. Now there's going to be, and it will give you a link on that email at that point. So do you want to display images? And so if you know who the email is from, sure, you can display the images. Here's some browser tips. Delete cookies on close. These are settings that you can set. All right. So whenever I close my browser, all the cookies will get deleted. Clear history on close. A lot of people say, well, that's really inconvenient because now my browser doesn't know where I've been. And it just takes longer for me to type in the address and get to where I want to go. That's true. But if someone's tracking you, then they also are not getting your history. On your email, webmail, don't open images by default and disable JavaScript. Enable pop-up blocking. Be sure you got automatic updates turned on. Enable do not track. And you can always use incognito or private browsing, but those names are kind of a misnomer because it won't, neither one of these options, and they're different names for the same thing. All that does is it means that the sites you go to when you're in private browsing or incognito mode don't end up in your history. That's all. It doesn't mean you can't get tracked or anything else. Social media safety. Use caution when you click links. Know what you've posted about yourself. Don't trust that a message really is from who it says it's from. Type the address of your social networking site directly into your browser. Do not allow social networking services to scan your email addresses. Everything you post to the internet is permanent. It's never going away. Be careful about installing extras, i.e. games. Be selective about who you accept as friends. This is a site that staysafeonline.org. They have a lot of good articles. And one of their best tools is that you can go up there and you can look up each site that you are a member of. So you can look up Facebook, you can look Twitter, whatever it is. And it will show you how to go in and set the privacy settings on those sites. Very good site. Phone scams. Give them nothing. Don't confirm your name. Don't reply yes to any question. Don't verify your address, and don't do surveys. Basically, just hang up. Other tips. IRS will not call you. Microsoft is not monitoring your computer and will not call you offering to help. They have better things to do with their time. Robocalls. Only say hello once. Most robocall software waits to hear that second verbal response before it even kicks in. So you pick up the phone, you say hello, nobody answers, and you say hello again, boom, that's all it takes. Now it's being forwarded to an actual live person or taped message or whatever it is. And never enter a star code in your mobile phone when prompted to do so by somebody you don't know. Okay, my website, geezertech.us. It is packed full of articles. At last count, I think I had close to 800 different tech articles up there. You're more than welcome to use it. I also have a mailing list that you can join, and every week I go out and with an email of the latest articles that I post to the website. And there's a variety of stuff. There's stuff up there on cord cutting, security, you name it. There's probably something up there. And we are done.
Great. You can unmute yourself if you have questions, or you put something in the chat box. You can do their thing, but
Yep.
Elaine?
I have a question about password manager.
Yes.
I'm interested in getting one for myself. And I still don't know exactly how they operate. Are you saying that maybe we would include everything in this password manager, including like your financial banking passwords, or you just use it for the casual ones?
No, I do. Okay,
Everything?
but yeah, I put everything in. Okay. I'm trying to explain this very quickly. And cloud security. The reason cloud security is so secure is because your information is spread out over multiple servers throughout the world. Okay, so it's not like information on your hard drive where everything is there. It's called distributed computing, and so all your information, it's very redundant. It's kept on a lot of different servers and a lot of different locations, and which makes it all the more secure of one, being hacked, or two, that server goes down and all your information is lost. Because the worst thing that can happen to Google or Microsoft is to start losing people's data. You know, that's death throes, okay, for them. So that's kind of, I mean, I do, and the one I use is Bitwarden. I like it. It's open source. It's free. It works on my phone, my tablet, everything, you know, across all platforms.
So how exactly does it work? So let's say I go to my bank website and all of a sudden I just blank on what my password is. And then I go and enter that Bitwarden password site and say,
Okay.
hey, what's my password?
No, not at all. Actually, it will load your username and password when you go to the site.
It will know it.
It will no, and it depending on how you set it up, it will load those into the site.
Okay.
When you go there.
Okay.
It's basically going to be an extension that is inside your browser. Okay, so when you go to a site that you have been to before that requires a login, the minute you click on login, the password manager sees that. I got it. There's username and password.
That's only if I use my computer. If I use somebody else's computer, does it know it?
No, but then if you're using somebody else's computer, most likely you're going to have that if depending on the password manager, and I also have it on my phone. Okay. And then you can always go to the password manager's website and log in and then look at your catalog. So your information is always accessible. Now, the other alternative is you could do the same thing in Excel. Okay. It's not going to fill all that information for you automatically, which I think is convenience. So, okay.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you could also use yellow sticky notes too, but you know,
There was a question in the chat from Dolores. It was, that you had said something about never put in a star.
yeah, there's
What will
a
happen?
lot. Well, there's a lot of different things that can happen. Okay. Star codes are used by your phone provider for doing settings and various other types of configurations on your smartphone. Okay. That's why it's just a good practice not to do it. In other words, I can set up call forwarding. Okay. By putting in a star code. Okay. So there's a lot of things that scammers can do. There was some stuff going around for a while. People were allowing, I think it was call forwarding. I may have this wrong, but let me see if I can remember, to where then someone else was using their cell phone number to make long distance calls overseas that was getting billed back to that person.
Mm.
Okay. So there's a lot of different things you can, screw up. Okay. Now that doesn't happen as much anymore. I mean, it's probably, in fact, it may never happen. So, but to me, it's just good, it's a good tool, just don't do it, unless you're talking to who you're talking to, i.e. you're talking to someone that is from Verizon or T-Mobile or whatever. And, but yeah, if somebody just calls you on the phone and, says, well, if you'll do this, we can help you with that.
There was another question in the chat. Can you read the chat, Rob?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Okay, so if someone hacks into your Facebook account, what can they do with the information there? Okay. It's not, I don't want any of you to take what I'm going to say the wrong way. It's not that your information is that important. Okay. But it's when I have thousands of people's information, now that becomes important, because now, and if I'm after, say, I want to learn as much about you as I can, well, by taking the information you have on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram or wherever, and putting all of that together, I could come up with a pretty good biography of you. Okay. And that's the danger. It's not that an individual data breach is a problem. Now, of course, if someone can hack in and get into your Facebook account, I don't know enough about Facebook to know if I don't think Facebook keeps any type of credit cards on file or anything like that. That's more of a danger with, say, Amazon or companies that you have a credit card on file, which is another thing you probably should not do. Don't keep your credit cards on file. Okay. It's better just to enter it in each time you decide you're going to buy something, or use a credit card only for that site. All right. So, I mean, I have an Amazon card, okay, that I get, of course, my 5% cash back with. It's only used for Amazon. Okay. So if I see a problem on my Amazon, then it's easy to go out and cancel that. And I haven't, I don't use my regular credit cards for that, so I'm never giving up that information. Okay. So not that, someone buying stuff on my Amazon account. I mean, Christ, you can buy anything in the world on Amazon. So, but, so there's a certain amount of risk, but, you do the best you can. And for most people, least most people that I know, not that big of an exposure. Okay. If a hacker wants to maximize their return, like any other business person, they want to get the greatest amount of return on their investment. So they're not going to focus on individuals as much. They're going to focus on corporations. You know, where can I go out and I can do the most damage and have the chance to get the biggest return on the amount of hours that I invest. And so, you know, you have to, I think a lot, sometimes you just have to, I know it's easy to get paranoid about this, but you also, I think, need to inject a grain of salt occasionally.
It's interesting you mentioned Facebook, because somebody told me a long time ago, don't ever put your year of birth on your Facebook page, just your month and your day.
Yeah, see, I don't even have my birth date on my Facebook page. Okay, you know, it's no, they don't need to know that. You know, so I'm very selective. You know, I mean, in fact, I hardly use Facebook except for the Facebook groups because I'm a member of a couple of different groups. And by the way, I also have a Geezer Tech Facebook group, but a little self-promotion there. But anyway, so because it's a matter of bits and pieces being put together. Now, I personally don't worry that much. One, I don't have that much money. All right. So, you know, that kind of takes me out of the big running. Two, I mean, I've been doing stuff online. I was in the military for 20 years. The government has got more information on me than you can shake a stick at. So you know, have at it, you know. So, you know, I try to keep I think a little bit of a realistic attitude about this. It's like what I tell a lot of people: if you're worried about your privacy and your security, then don't get on the internet. But just don't do it. You know, if it's that big of a deal, you know, then, you know, but on the other hand, I think you just need to, you know, kind of be aware of what the risks are and how to avoid them, you know, or at least to minimize them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anything else I can rant about?
This is Sheila.
Yes, Sheila.
If there are more questions, please bring them on, but I'm sitting here at my computer and I'm looking at the handout that you had sent to me, which the women won't see, but I highly recommend when Sylvia, somehow or other, we get this to you, whether it's on the YouTube presentation of this, the recorded one, or I'd like to see it just emailed to everybody. It's a multi-page thing of not only what Rob has told us today, but everything you would want to know. And it's just a handy reminder. I'm just scrolling through it. It's multi-pages. It's got all these do verify, do use, do be wary of, how to avoid things. And it's such a worthwhile document that I hope that when we get it to you, you put it on file, whether you print it out and keep it, or whether you just save it on your desktop for quick looking at, because it's just invaluable what he shared with us. It's things we sometimes think about and a lot of things we never think about. So
Now,
I appreciate this.
This used to be a 4-hour class.
I could see why. Yeah.
Okay. And I kind of cut it down. And so the other thing is when you get this handout, the YouTube videos, and there's probably about 20 of them that I have on this sheet. I highly recommend that you take, they're short videos. They're very good videos in my opinion. And they can provide a wealth of information. I don't know if I've put this information out to this group or not before, but let me, hang on, let me see if I can find it. I know I've given it to Marie, who I see has joined us. Let's see. Okay. It's this website right here. If you guys are interested in tutorials,
Mhm.
and I'm going to share my screen again real quickly. Okay, it's this. And I'm going to put the link in there for you. And so online safety, social media, email, stuff on Google, tutorials on probably all of Office products. All right. It's a great website. And the nicest thing about it is all these tutorials are on very plain, easy to understand language that they're just good websites.
What's the
Okay.
website? Seeing it on my computer, on my iPad that I'm looking at.
Okay, it's GFC Global.
Okay.
All right. .org. I think well, it's actually edu.gfcglobal.org. And it's the site is run by Goodwill Corporation. Been around for a long time, and it's usually my go-to place whenever I start researching a new topic, that I'm going to present. So, and they're excellent videos, and I believe they have over 200 different topics, including basic math.
Is that in your write-up?
I don't know. It may be.
I can't find, I'm looking. Okay, give it to me again. I'm gonna write it down, make sure
All right. No, that's okay. Hang on one second.
GFC Global is part of it?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's
.edu, right?
it's edu
EDU.
GCF.
Yeah.
GCFglobal.org.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see it in your write-up, but, oh yeah, there it is.
Okay.
It's under resources.
Right.
Okay, good. I
I'm
just,
just-
I see in the chat, Marie has offered to get the handout to Sylvia. Marie, I've already emailed it to Sylvia, so she'll be able to do something with it, but thanks for bringing.
It is in the email I sent with a Zoom link, but I'm also going to send it out to everybody with the
Yeah.
recording afterwards, so everyone will.
It's, this is a big subject. People are concerned, and because basically every day or every week, we're hearing about something getting hacked.
Right.
So my best advice when it comes to passwords, passphrases, is to have a different password or passphrase for every site and change them occasionally. And if you're going to do passphrases, have them so the words that you use in your passphrase have no relationship to you. In other words, don't use your kids' names, your grandkids' names, your dog's names, your cat's names, any of that. Okay. It's like I did 20 years in the Navy, so I use nautical terms. Okay. Is that a great? I don't, someone don't realize they're sharing their screen right now, right?
I don't know why. I don't know where that's coming from.
Well,
So-
the host can turn it off.
Yeah. I'll stop sharing. Let's see, security.
There's a little red. Okay,
There
we
you go.
Yeah.
That was just too much, too fast.
Yeah, yeah. Rob, what?
So anyway,
Oh, go on. I had a question.
no, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was wondering, I use 1Password. I've been using that for years. Do you think that's graded?
No, it is. It is. It's a lot of these products. Now, LastPass has made some changes. They've
Yeah,
gotten hacked a couple of times. 1Password's good. I like Bitwarden, but you know, again, find a product that you like, stick with it, and you know, the thing is, you can change products. You know, because once you get all this set up, it's easily to export your catalog and import it somewhere else.
Oh, well, you can. Well, yeah, I've been satisfied with it. I keep everything on there, logins, health things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have everything. I was wondering what you thought of it.
Oh, no, I know it is. It's one of the higher rated ones. And the other thing is, I don't know for anybody that is doing the Microsoft 365 subscription. They also have a personal vault in the OneDrive, and that requires two-factor authentication. So if you got documents or things that you are concerned about, you can put them inside that vault, and basically it's a timed two-factor authentication.
Yeah. So
you can open it up. It's only going to stay open for a certain amount of time, usually 10-15 minutes. And if you forget about it, it's going to automatically lock down again. So there's some, areas there.
Good.
I get curious, I find stuff that, when it comes to prying eyes, it's fascinating.
Well, and then how do you feel about like the software? Like I paid for Malwarebytes.
Malwarebytes is a good program. Now I use Bitdefender, and I've been using them for years, and so I have no reason to change. If you're using the free version of Malwarebytes, then a lot of the free versions, I can't speak to Malwarebytes specifically, but a lot of the free versions will not automatically scan your machine. So it's not protecting you in real time. It's because it's something that you have to run. Okay. Right. Where with the paid versions, most of those are going to be real time, 24/7. You go to a site, boom, it's going to, protect you in that instant. So, there's, when I get into my facetious mood, I tell, when people say, well, I don't want to have to pay for this, I go, well, okay, so you pay $15 a month for Netflix, but spending $3 a month to protect your security is totally, we can't be doing that, so that to me is the difference, I also hear about people that are spending over $100 a month for cable TV and stuff of that nature, but yet, will swear up and down that a free virus scanner is perfectly fine. So,
yeah, I started out with the free version, but something happened, and I don't remember what it was, and it kind of really affected my computer. And they said, "Okay, well, I think I better go to the next level."
Well,
and everyone. And you get the messages from Malwarebytes, it'll say, and I'm not
right.
Just scan, and this is everything looks
good.
There's
nothing wrong with Malwarebytes. There's nothing wrong with AVG. There's not, any of these, but keep in mind that the reason they make a free one is to get you to buy the subscription, Sure. So they're not going to be as full featured as what their paid version is, and they're not going to get as updated as often,
right?
Because that virus scanner is only as good as its most recent update. And
Right.
so, and so you want to be sure that you have the latest virus versions, mapped out,
Mhm.
otherwise not that it's going, are you at a huge risk? Probably not. And, a lot of people, it works just fine. I always tell people, you got to look at your use case. I mean, for me, I am all over the internet. I'm probably at a higher risk than what most people are, most average users. But on the other hand, you need to, I guess, get to where you're comfortable. Where's that comfort level at?
Right.
Mhm. And you mentioned about, well, maybe you would be a high target because you don't have a lot of money, but I think that another issue is your identity. Anybody can have
Right.
their identity stolen, and you don't have to be rich for that. I mean, is there
Oh,
just,
no. Identity theft is always an issue, and so I mean, it's like, because when I mentioned using different browsers for different tasks, okay, the minute if I'm using the same browser for everything, I'm at higher risk, because the minute I start putting extensions on a browser, then that makes it a higher risk piece of software. Okay, so I use Brave browser, which the only extensions that it has on is my password manager. Okay, and that's the one I use for my banking. I got a browser that I just do all of my messing around with social media, and that's the only one I use there. And then I have a browser that I use for the rest of my stuff, like my email and things of that nature. So, I just, you can compartmentalize this stuff. I don't use Google search hardly anymore.
Oh.
Okay, because I don't, I prefer DuckDuckGo because they don't track you.
oh,
Oh, okay. And Google search tries to anticipate what you're looking for, and then shows you the results based on what they think you want to find. DuckDuckGo doesn't do that. They just give you straight search results. In fact, sometime go to the different search engines, do search for the same term, and see what your search results look like on each one.
Wow.
Okay.
good. That's good.
But I figure Google already knows enough about me. So, I want to spread the information around.
That was a good one.
Well, unfortunately, it's true.
It is true. It's just.
Well, if there are no more questions, I want to thank Rob for joining us and presenting this. I'm sure it's going to be helpful for most of us.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. It's
good.
And if I can be of any further assistance, you guys have my email address. It's on that handout. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Give me a holler. I'll be happy to answer.
We know how to find you.
I know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to take that, Sheila.
It
On the internet, right?
It wasn't.
There you go, dear.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. You take care and all right. Have a good day.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Mm.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
in
Remember the
May.
lunch. Remember the luncheon in May.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.